Good Morning Britain presenter Martin Lewis engaged in a heated debate with Business and Trade Secretary Jonathan Reynolds over the Labour government's handling of rising taxes and energy costs. The discussion quickly turned confrontational, with Lewis challenging the minister on the lack of immediate action to support struggling households. Criticism over energy costs. Lewis wasted no time in pointing out what he saw as Labour's failure to act since coming into power. He referenced past discussions with Labour MPs and shadow cabinet members about implementing a social tariff to lower bills for vulnerable consumers and eliminating standing charges. However, since Labour took office, he argued, there had been no tangible action. Now, nothing. Tumbleweed, in terms of actions for consumers since you came in, Lewis said bluntly. He continued, pressing Reynolds on the rising cost of living. You can talk about long-term infrastructure plans, but why aren't you doing something more immediate? Energy prices have risen by 18% since you took power, affecting two-thirds of households in England, Scotland, and Wales. Reynolds defends government approach. Reynolds attempted to reassure Lewis, stating that Labour was working towards securing a future of clean and affordable energy. I can assure you there has been no tumbleweed in my department since the election. The ambition and determination we have to transition to secure, clean energy supplies are central to our plans, he responded. However, when Lewis pressed for immediate relief measures, Reynolds admitted that while the government was aware of the short-term pressures, people would have to wait for upcoming budget announcements. The spending review is not far away, Reynolds stated. That's when we'll have the opportunity to implement meaningful changes. I can't announce anything yet, but we're absolutely aware of the current financial pressures. Lewis cutting response. Lewis was unimpressed by the response and delivered a sharp one-liner that quickly went viral. Forgive me, but I think the government has a bit of a wait problem. Every time I ask something, I'm told to wait, he fired back, leaving Reynolds visibly uncomfortable. The exchange resonated with many viewers, who shared frustrations over rising costs. Some pointed out that pension increases were already being wiped out by council tax hikes, while others agreed with Lewis that standing charges should be frozen or eliminated. Further confrontations over smart meters and broadband. Lewis didn't stop there. He raised concerns about the government's approach to smart meters, highlighting what he saw as a flawed system. We have a perverse targeting system where energy companies are fined if they don't install smart meters, even if they don't work. They're forced to install them, but there's no requirement to fix broken ones, Lewis explained. He revealed that he had written to the Secretary of State to push for a policy change but had received only nods and smiles in response. Do you have a weight problem? Lewis asked again, prompting laughter from co-host Susanna. Reynolds, caught off guard, promised to follow up. I will make sure you get a response. It's a complex issue, but we've already started making changes. Before Reynolds could finish, Lewis interrupted again, this time raising concerns about broadband and mobile phone contract. For years, we've had above-inflation mid-contract price hikes. The regulator has finally forced companies to be upfront about future increases, but the hikes are still larger than inflation itself, Lewis argued. He accused the government of allowing excessive price increases that would further fuel inflation, creating a vicious cycle for consumers. A frustrated audience. The heated exchange reflected growing public frustration over the cost of living crisis. Many viewers supported Lewis' stance, arguing that the government needed to act faster to help struggling families. Others criticized Labour for not fulfilling its promises quickly enough. As the interview ended, it was clear that Lewis had put Reynolds under significant pressure, leaving many wondering if Labour would be forced to respond with concrete action in the coming weeks.